this is my Lego wall, and as some of you may know, I'm working on collecting every Lego Star Wars minifigure ever made, and I've made pretty dang good headway. Up at the top there are the oldest guys they made, and up at the bottom are the newest guys, and every space is a guy I still need. But I've got a good chunk of them now. I'm pretty proud, pretty fortunate to have a lot of them. And a few years ago, I put out the top 10 most valuable Star Wars minifigures I have. And that video is pretty outdated at the moment. So today, we're going to go through the top 10 most valuable Star Wars minifigures I have at this exact point in time. So I'll be using the website Brick Economy for the value of the minifigures. So they may differ a little bit from like Bricklink or eBay, because Brick Economy takes every website and does like this special math and then the trend over time. So some of them may be a little bit less than Bricklink, some of them may be a little bit more. But without further ado, let's hop right into it. So before we get into the top 10, we have some honorable mentions. The guys that just barely didn't make the cutoff. So I guess, technically 13th, 12th, and 11th most valuable figures I have. But on the left here, we have Admiral Yularen. This guy came out in 2015 in a polybag. He was a May the 4th exclusive back then. And this is a pretty good minifigure. This is technically his Rebels appearance, right? So he looks a little simple. He's got good face printing though. Good solid mustache on Yularen there. But you also see this version in episode 4, and now Andor too, he made his appearance. And I'm very lucky to have this guy. So I bought him maybe 2 or 3 years ago for 20 bucks. And like, I think 20 bucks for a minifigure is up there, that's not light for a little piece of plastic. But I'm like, I really wanted Yularen. I liked him in the Clone Wars and whatnot. So I picked him up. And boy, am I lucky, because now he is worth $85. And why is that? Well, first he jumped up in price when Andor appeared and he showed up there. And so he jumped up quite a bit there. Back when I was doing, when I made this video about 2 years ago, I think he was worth about $70-ish. But he's jumped up even further again, and that is almost likely due to the Clone Wars Yularen coming out in the UCS Venator set that just came out. So he has jumped up quite a bit in the past few years. In the middle here, we have TX20. He is a very good minifigure. I'm not going to harp on it any more than everyone else. Everyone wants a remake of this minifigure. We want more tactical droids. It's honestly a shame that we've only ever gotten one version of this minifigure. And, that's why he's so expensive. So TX20, he came out in 2011 in the Mace Windu's Jedi Starfighter set. And this guy looks awesome, right? He's got a molded body, special molded body. His head is attached to that so that doesn't come off. And he's got like really nice printing there. You can see his thing, or his emblem, and then he's just got a solid, mold. This is a really cool minifigure. And he goes for about $107.90. So very expensive. He has jumped up quite a bit since he's first come out. And honestly, if Lego ever decides to make another Lego tactical droid, he'll probably go back down quite a bit, I think, because he's just such a cool minifigure. On the right here, we have Count Dooku, and this is another figure that is in dire need of a remake. Not because this one looks bad, not by any means, but this is the last time we've gotten Count Dooku, and he came out in 2013 in the Duel on Geonosis set. So very sought after because he's a very, prominent figure in Star Wars, and he's just a cool dude. Right now he goes for about $109.73, and he is, that makes sense because everyone needs a Dooku for Star Wars. And he looks pretty good. He's got, solid, simple printing there. He's got the good face, captures Christopher Lee quite well. Back there, he's got an alternate head. And fun fact, he shares the same head as the Lego Sauron that was coming out around the same time, because, same actor. Ooh, and then Yularen does not have an alternate head. I forgot to show that. Interesting. But that does it for the 3 runner-ups. Let's get into the actual top 10. So in 10th place, we have Princess Leia in Bausch disguise. This minifigure came out in 2012 in the Jabba's Palace set. And this is a really good minifigure. Like, it has pretty intricate detailing all around his torso. He's got the ammo belt there, the printing, the belt tries to go like cross the torso and the hip piece, which is really neat. Then like solid leg printing all around. Bausch has this nice little backpack there, and it does cover up some printing on the back here. And then underneath, of course, you have the Princess Leia head. And I believe she did come out with a hairpiece as well in the set. And she's got a little frowny face, and then I will take off this little backpack here to show you the detail underneath, because it should be shown. It's very good detailing. So like I said, this figure came out 2012, over a decade ago, and it currently goes for $119.54. So very expensive. For what reasons? Well, it was a very expensive set at the time. It's old now, like it's over a decade old. That probably contributes to it quite a bit. It's a very cool looking minifigure. It's got a specific exclusive helmet mold there for the Bausch disguise. And yeah, I know that there is a Jabba's Sail Barge UCS exclusive, or UCS set coming out soon, supposedly. And there's a chance, I've heard conflicting rumors if Bausch is supposed to make a reappearance there or in a diorama set. But until Bausch comes out again, this figure will continue to go up in price because it's pretty sought after. A lot of people like making Jabba's Palace mocks, and it's pretty much a shoehorn in. This is a really cool minifigure. But that does it for number 10. Let's get on to number 9. In 9th place, we have Max Rebo himself. So this guy came out in 2013 in Jabba's Sail Barge, so another Jabba's Palace minifigure. You see a little bit of a trend. And this guy is pretty dang cool, I think, for weird reasons. So he's got a completely solid light blue body. There is no printing whatsoever on the back, on the front. Ooh, there we go, focus. On the sides of the arms. The only thing exclusive to this minifigure is, of course, his headpiece, the little elephant looking guy. So why? Oh, so he costs about $123.27. So again, very expensive. So why is that? Pretty much the exact same reasons as Princess Leia. Came out in a pretty expensive set, well over a decade ago, and he's a fan favorite. A lot of people like Max Rebo for obvious reasons. He's just a cool little funny looking animal, little elephant guy. But he also has made quite a return recently. In the Book of Boba Fett show, he popped up, and that contributed highly to his increase in price because he was always a pretty expensive minifigure. But he has jumped up a decent amount since then, since I made this video a few years ago. He is also supposedly rumored to make a return in the upcoming UCS Jabba's Sail Barge set. So there's a good chance his value will drop quite a bit, and that will be a perfect time to pick up either this Max Rebo or just get the new one coming out. I'm sure, I can't imagine what they do different besides printing. I can totally see them reusing this headpiece because it looks pretty dang phenomenal. Like, it even has like little warts on his trunk there, which is just a cool little detail. But that does it for Max Rebo. Let's get on to the 8th figure. So in 8th place, we have Phase 1 Captain Rex. And this totally makes sense. Everyone loves Captain Rex. He's a very sought after minifigure. So he is number 8 on the list. So this guy came out in 2011 in the Battle for Geonosis set. And he is a Captain Rex, right? He's not super intricate for 2011. They weren't doing a whole lot for the clone troopers. They pretty much threw everyone with these bandoliers and commas, the hard plastic. They don't look super good, but they did the job. And then what is good though is his helmet, right? So Phase 1 Rex, we haven't gotten a new Phase 1 Rex since 2011. So that's why he is so dang high up there. And I guess I'll spoil a little bit. His price value is $139.28. So very expensive, but totally makes sense. I'm more surprised by like Bausch and Max Rebo, but Rex, he's always going to be sought after. And if we take off his helmet there, he actually does have an exclusive head print, or not exclusive, but it's exclusive to Rex, which is interesting. They got the little stubble there. It's interesting because Rex doesn't have stubble in the show. Like, I don't know why they decided to give him an exclusive head print, but I like it. It does the job well. And of course, he's using the Clone Wars era wide eyes, the very stylized looking head. So that is Captain Rex at number 8. Let's get on to number 7. So next up we have the man, the myth, the legend himself, Grand Admiral Thrawn. So this is probably my favorite minifigure in my entire collection. I'm a huge fan of Thrawn, and I am so glad to have this minifigure. So this guy came out in 2017 in the Phantom set. So this guy is, of course, his Rebels version, his Rebels appearance, and he looks amazing. He's got his, Grand Admiral insignia there. He's got his gold shoulder pads peeking through. We turn him around. He's just got the standard, simple Imperial officer uniform. But look, they did really well for this minifigure. They did his face super good. I like his red eyes. I like his, the chiseled jawbone that is very prominent in this show. And they also got this cool dark blue hairpiece. So pretty cool piece there. On the back there, he's got a much angrier face. He looks very cool. So this guy goes for $143.65, which is pretty dang high up there, right? So he is expensive for a lot of reasons, right? Grand Admiral Thrawn is a fan favorite. He is very sought after, and he has jumped up. He's always been a very expensive minifigure, but he has jumped up quite recently because he reappeared again in the Ahsoka show. However, of course, there are more rumors circulating that Thrawn will make an appearance in a new Lego set here pretty soon. So I sure hope so. I think everyone deserves a Thrawn because he is a fantastic character and a very cool minifigure at that. So that does it for number 7. Let's get on to number 6. So at number 6, I have a very new addition to my collection. I just picked him up a couple months ago. We have Agen Kolar. So this guy came out in 2012 in the Palpatine's Arrest set. So this guy is pretty awesome. He is really, really cool in my opinion. He currently goes for $150.58. So very expensive minifigure, and for a good amount of reasons. He looks really good for starters. He's got an exclusive hairpiece here with his ponytail on the back. You can also see he's got his Zabrak horns, and then his tattoos go up his face print as well as on the hairpiece there, which is really cool. He's got pretty good detailing for the Jedi robes there. Usually they go pretty simple, but he's got pretty good ones. If we take off the back, he's got no alternate head. And then also if we flip that up, again, very detailed back printing for Jedi robes, which is pretty interesting. So why is he so high up there? Why is he $150? Well, pretty standard theme. He is in an expensive set when he came out. He came out over a decade ago, and he's just a really cool dude. Like in universe, he kind of gets dogged on by Palpatine, but he looks really cool. He's a very good, well done minifigure. Then also he is in a very iconic Star Wars scene, Palpatine's Arrest, where the 4 Jedi go to arrest Palpatine. This is the only version we've ever gotten of Agen Kolar. We've gotten a bunch of Mace Windus, some very recently. We got a few Kit Fistos, and even a few Sassy Teens. This is the only Agen Kolar we've ever gotten. So very interesting in that regard, and that probably contributes very highly to his price. But that does it for number 6. Let's get on number 5. So at number 5, we have just simply called Jedi Knight. This guy came out in 2013 in the Jedi Defender class starfighter, and he is one of the few Old Republic minifigures we've gotten. He looks awesome. He's got the really detailed, old Jedi armor there up around his torso. He's even got the robes kind of flowing around there. Then on the back, he has got, again, very nice printing. No arm printing, no side leg printing, which is of course the norm for the time. On his face there, he's got the sunken eyes, the real Zabrak looking face, and he's got of course his Zabrak horns on top of there. Fun fact, I somehow stumbled upon just his horns on Bricklink, and even his horns go for a ridiculous amount of money. I think it's like, last time I looked, it was like $50 for his horns, and that was the cheapest option, which is crazy. But this minifigure whole goes for $174.38. And there's a good amount of reasons for that. He of course was in a very expensive set for the time. There's a very common theme for almost all of these minifigures. He's in a very expensive set. He's old. He's over a decade old now. But I think another large contributing factor to him is that he is Old Republic, and they haven't not made a lot of Old Republic minifigures at all. So, I think a lot of fans of the Old Republic will yoink the few figures that they've gotten so far. But that does for number 5. Let's get on to number 4. So at number 4, we have a minifigure that's actually dropped a decent amount since the last time I put out this video. We have Pre-Vizsla here. This guy came out in 2012 in Pre-Vizsla's Mandalorian Starfighter, and this is a really good minifigure in my opinion. He has really good printing on his legs there, on his torso. The helmet looks awesome. You can see he's got, of course it's Pre-Vizsla's helmet, right? But they got the blue stripes on his side and then the Death Watch insignia on top of his helmet, which looks really, really cool. And he's also got this special cape on the side here, this printed cape, which looks really cool. It's got, of course, the Death Watch insignia on there. So anything Death Watch this guy has. If we take off the helmet there, we've got a pretty appalling face. It is the Clone Wars style Mandalorian head. Doesn't look good, right? Like, this looks like the stuff of nightmares. Terrifying. So we'll put that back on there. This guy currently goes for $198.17. And that is very, very expensive for a minifigure, but it's actually dropped about $20 to $30 since the last time I put out this video. And I'm not sure why exactly. Maybe just people are starting to fade away, or Pre-Vizsla is starting to fade away in the minds of people. But about $200 is not a laughing matter. He's still very high up there. And why is that? He's just an old minifigure. He looks pretty cool. He's a cool character. So there's a multitude of reasons why he is the way he is. But that does it for number 4. Let's get on to number 3. So at number 3, we have the recently not one and only Phase 2 Captain Rex. So this guy came out in 2013, which is what most fans consider the golden age of LEGO Star Wars. Came in the Bark Speeder with sidecar set. And this guy is a pretty cool minifigure. He's got really good printing all around. He's got the little tallies there for the droids he's killed all up on his torso and the legs there. You see on the side, and then also on his helmet too. So it's just a really cool bit of detail there. He's got cloth comma and bandolier, which is really cool now, waist cape, instead of the old plastic ones that like Phase 1 Rex had. So that is a vast improvement over the old one. And over the new one too, because they don't give us a waist cape on the new one, which is a lot of people's concern. But if we take off his head there, we still have the Rex waking up at 5 a.m. with that stubble. Not sure why he does. Rex never has stubble in the show, but it is what it is. It's actually a different print than the Phase 1 version. You can see the 2013 is much darker in color. But this is a very cool minifigure. He goes for $206.61. And I'm surprised to see him not drop a lot, because we of course have the new Phase 2 Rex that came out in the UCS Venator. Now that set is very expensive right now, and which is probably contributing his lack of fall in price. With the new Microfighter Y-Wing, I bet you he'll go down even further. So I still think he'll be very sought after, very expensive, but not $206 expensive. He'll probably drop, a decent amount. But that does it for number 3. Let's get on to number 2. So at number 2, we have Queen Amidala. And so this guy came out in 2012 in the Gungan subset. And this one is a little bit of an anomaly for me. I don't know why it's so high up here. She goes for $229.66 at this time. So very, very expensive, and I don't know why exactly. Queen Amidala is not exactly like everyone's go-to minifigure. Like, she's not in a lot of cool scenes. I mean, it's very iconic for episode 1 especially. This is the look of Padme, you know, when you think about it. But other than that, like, the contributing factors, I think, are the exclusive hair mold here. I think this is a very cool hair mold. And then also this leg piece is all molded. It's one large piece there you can see on the bottom. That might be another large reason why, but it is just genuinely a really cool minifigure. Very cool piece of Lego Star Wars history, and has very good printing too. Unfortunately, the torso does not match the legs. You can see, you know, they're supposed to be gold all the way through, but they don't have the reflective part. It's not reflective on the legs there, it's just a solid print. If we take the hair off, you can see her face a little better, very plain, very simple, and then nothing on the back there. So, very expensive minifigure, but that does it for number 2. Let's see who number 1 is. So at number 1 we have Clone Commander Fox. So this guy came out in 2008 in the Separatist Spider Droid set, and he goes for about $258.34. This is the most valuable Star Wars minifigure I have in my collection. So I know recently they just found a whole bunch of variants for this Commander Fox. To be fully honest, I don't know which variant I have, and honestly, I don't really care. I have whatever is marked in Bricklink originally before they found the variant. So in full honesty, this guy could be a little bit less or even a little bit more. But this is, of course, Commander Fox, and he is one of the clone troopers of all time, right? You know, this minifigure is very cool, very good, and not good at the same time, just like Fox's Phase 2 version that they pumped out recently. First of all, it's not very accurate at all, right? Fox never has this comma in the show. He never wears that, but the minifigure has that, of course, because they threw it on literally every clone commander at the time. Then also his visor should be red as well, but that makes sense. They always just gave the clones the gray color piece. That's fine, whatever. But the comma, he shouldn't have that. It's just an interesting piece of Lego lore, I guess. Other than that, he's got really good printing. He just has the standard clone trooper head there for the time. And if I take off his comma there, you can see the Republic Coruscant Guard torso. And that is a really, really good torso. I really, really enjoy that. I wish we could get some more of them, like the Phase 1 versions. Just like we got of Rex. If we could get some Phase 1 501st Troopers, I think that'd be really cool. But this is Fox, and he has jumped up a huge amount of money since the last time I did this video. Like somewhere between like $40 to $50, which is pretty insane. I have a few reasons, I think. One of the reasons could be all these variants that have recently been discovered of Fox. In full honesty, I am not going to try and hunt down all the variants, the very slight different details. I don't care. For my personal collection, this is good enough. But then also his Phase 2 version came out last year, and collectors probably want his Phase 1 and Phase 2 version, so it probably drove his price up a little bit through there as well. But that does for my top 10 most valuable Star Wars minifigures. Hope you all enjoyed the video, and let me know what guys you have, what guys are on your wish list. I'd love to know in the comments. Until then, I'll see you later.